Oh, I got some.
Take it out the case.
Today is Thursday. You wiped all your line and all white off.
Well, I know you ain't been feeling that great, but that line ain't making sense.
You know how you usually have like a little white line on your line?
Oh yeah.
I like that line.
Why?
I don't know. It just looks fresh. You don't like it? When they get the haircut.
It's not supposed to.
You don't? I love that. What's up, Daddy's Promise? Like Chicago Clubhouse.
No,
What
I
do
don't
you
like
do?
that.
Hey, Bill, what up? What's up, y'all? I'm waving. I'm waving. All right,
Fix Tammy camera.
20 seconds whenever you're ready. Oh,
I'm been ready.
So I had the pleasure of going to It Takes a Village and reading a book.
Which location?
At 800 South 12.
It says two bills in there, but it says 200. So I don't know if it's saying 200 per pill or 200 per pack.
You got a headache.
So I bought two.
You need a BC.
You got one? You ready? You got me some water? I'm on live. Oh, no.
It's a kinship, it's a friendship, it's a relationship, and all that means is Zoe didn't bring us in on time for me to do it right out of water fellowship. But it's a beautiful day to throw somebody under the bus. But you know what? We are so excited. It is my favorite day of the weekend. I've been saying it for 7 years. In order to know where you're going, you must know where you come from. And I am so excited on this Throwback Thursday that I know where I come from. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and I'm posted with the walking miracle, talking testimony.
It's your girl, Tamara Fair, on the air, and I'm super excited to be here. Feel under the weather, but you just got to change the weather, right? So today is weather change.
Oh, you sound like a Republican.
No,
you
not like
weather,
that.
huh?
Not like that. Speaking of Republicans, though, I'm super proud of Kamala because she went on CNN.
Fox News.
Yeah, Fox News. And baby, they tried to roast her. She turned the fire right back around.
She snapped, but
yes,
that's what a president does, you know?
Yeah, wasn't she looking absolutely presidential?
Yes, she was.
Well, we're going to get into that. That's coming up in this hour, y'all. This is the Power Hour. We definitely got a great show for you today. It's Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday. You know it's Marcel's this is his true, authentic favorite day
Listen,
of the week.
I run in here to be on time on Thursday because if I'm too late, you got to lead the shift, and I don't want it.
That's what I'm talking about. Make sure you put your head on Thursday mindset every day.
Yeah.
So today you're going to get some tambourines. You're going to get some testimonies. You know what? Sometimes, like yesterday, I was thinking about how people are going through so much right now, right? People, like somebody that is listening to my voice right now is fighting a medical battle, some kind of domestic violence battle, some kind of financial battle. Your thing over here is fighting
My
a battle.
thing is having a battle.
Fighting fighting a battle, but I promise you that there is no battle too hard, no mountain too high, no valley too low that God cannot take and deliver you from it. All you got to do is ask and don't doubt it, because if you doubt it, doubting gets you in bigger trouble than the trouble that you had to ask about in the first place. So you know what? Marcel is in big trouble. And you know why? Because evidently your stand is drinking.
You know what? Otis taught me a singer. You know, one time I'll never forget when I first met Otis, it was a ladybug on the shoulder or something. And I pulled it. I said, oh, it's a ladybug. And I pulled it off. He said, put it back. He said, black people can't have nothing. And I say that to Adam, put me back on the screen. I can't have nothing. He gonna talk about I'm making him dizzy. Listen, it's about to be a great show. If you tune,
it already kicked off as one.
Listen, if you're not tuned in, I know you're listening on the radio, but we get it cracking behind the scenes. And we have a great question of the day for our social media listeners. So, but when we get back, we got great guests. We're talking all things Oktoberfest, food, business, relationships, all that right here on the Brunch Bunch.
And we got a surprise guest today. Oh, wow. Right here on the Brunch Bunch, y'all. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share. It's going down.
Hey, my people. Introducing effective kindergarten classroom management.
Well, you didn't get that text back? Because I want you to do that.
What happened?
He texted you right back and said.
Well, go down there and get her.
Yeah, she here?
I don't know if she's here, but when she get here, go down there and get her.
I hope she hurry.
Yeah, she's not here yet.
I got my key card.
Oh, then I can just use her.
Can you text her and find out her ETA?
Said you can't put nobody on after 11.
Yeah.
They emailed us.
Like, yeah, Pam was the one that emailed us about that.
I didn't get that
If
email.
y'all can't get in contact.
What's
She knows that we're doing that.
I know, but
what? Me neither.
Oh,
What is the question for social media?
Oh,
That's a really
right.
good question.
The question is, if you're in a partnership and the business don't email both partners, do you cuss them out?
What kind of cussing questions
So-
do we have?
The question, Linda said, waiting for you, T. Linda T. Stewart. So-
I'm coming, Stu.
I don't know if this is a good question, but y'all tell me. Not question. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about that.
You don't know if you have good thoughts.
Pennsylvania parents can now remove their kids from any school lessons about trans people. And so the law states that. So what happened? A recent U.S. judge. Well, that's my story.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. We're about to pull that.
but we'll talk about it. Hopefully, we may not. We got two guests, so I hope.
She's just coming by.
Oh.
She's not gonna be on the air or nothing like that. But of course, you know,
Yeah.
Melinda Style, she probably
Of course,
is.
of course.
But that's an interesting topic.
So
and
we're gonna dive into
I
it.
guess. I mean, in that case, can't parents pull out for like religious purposes?
Well, they said that the law now teachers. So what happened? A teacher read a trans book to her first grade class
Okay.
for Trans Day of Visibility, and the book was talking about trans people, and I guess how to be trans or whatever.
How to be trans.
But the law is now, Pennsylvania law is now saying that you must let parents know in advance that you're going to be talking about subjects like this, and they have a right to say, no, I don't want my kids in the class.
It's like
In the
mature
whole class
audience.
or in that subject matter?
In that subject matter.
It's like mature audience for TV. Like only
Well, yeah,
certain
'cause why-
audience-
That's a good correlation.
Yeah. Like,
We had to have permission slips for sex education in
Yes.
high school.
Amen.
But I was gonna say it's nothing new.
Amen.
The only thing that's new, and I'm going back to even biblical times, because there were plenty of homosexuals in biblical times.
Yeah.
They just weren't transsexuals because the technology, the medical technology, hadn't caught up to it to that point.
Yeah.
But they were living their lives in alternate sex universes.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is
Delusion.
That
no.
must have been a trip.
No, I mean,
No, it wasn't a
but the way you,
No,
the way you talk about alternate, I mean,
I'm
no,
saying
but
they
that
were.
must have been a trip with like you had no science to back it or anything. and you feel like a
which
certain
phone
way.
is
That
she
must-
on, StreamYard? Is it the iPad? Because it's so much lighter than mine.
What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, she looking bright.
You looking real bright, and mine
Well,
is
we got-
looking real dull.
I think there's more light behind
Justice,
it.
fix it. No, I'm joking.
Well, I don't want to
Let
look
me-
bright. I'm Coco
Give
Brown.
me something to watch.
I don't want to look like.
But yeah, so the point
I feel a
is,
little
we'll talk
better
about
than
it in the
from-
story. Can I move what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what?
I only asked because, it is my day, but I want it to be courteous.
No, be what you
I'm
been.
on one. I got rest last
Be
night.
what you been. Thank you. Be what you been.
I like
But
that.
you know what? That's a very interesting topic.
I know, that's why I
because
want to
so
move it up.
many parents are having issue with that.
Yeah.
But the
30 seconds.
transgender parents
Wait, Caesar, what's going on?
or the same-sex parents are having issues with the people that want to remove them because they think that education should be okay. But I mean, when you
Yeah.
think about it, if you take Black authors and minority authors out of critical race theory out of education, why is it that it's okay for you to keep trans or homosexual? Because it's what?
Because it's white people.
Because it's votable. It's a whole voting
Because
block.
it's white people.
Oh.
447
Yeah, they don't.
3344.
They,
Stacy
it's white
Chelsea,
people.
So,
447
this is going to be
There's
interesting.
prejudice
I
in that.
kind of want to take some callers. So what's going on is the Pennsylvania District Court has ruled that Mount Lebanon School District must allow parents to remove their children from any lessons or classroom activities about transgender identity in a decision that has reportedly stunned local LGBTQ plus ZH advocates. In her decision issued September 30th, U.S. District Judge Joy Flowers Conti found that the school district violated a group of parents' rights after a teacher read not one, but two books about trans people to her first grade class on Trans Day of Visibility in 2022. Now, according to court filings, the class listened to the educational trans picture books When Aiden Became a Brother by Cal Lukoff and Introducing Teddy by Jessica Walton, both of which have been targets of anti-LGBTQ plus book bans for years. I'm gonna keep with the story, but I do want to those books, children book, When Aiden Became a Brother, and Introducing Teddy. So it's books about young people becoming trans and switching their sex. Just in case the believers.
What was the grade?
First grade.
Wow.
First grade. So parents filed suit in June that year alleging that the district had violated their constitutional rights under the First and 14th Amendment. Conti ruled that because the district, I want to see the book too. Conti ruled that because the district previously provided written notice for parents to opt their children out of other lessons and presentations, such as dissecting animals and religious holiday stories, but did not allow the plaintiffs to opt out of the Trans Day of Visibility story time. It had discriminated against them and their religious beliefs. The lack of notice was, and I quote, constitutionally impermissible, end quote, Conti wrote, granting the plaintiffs declaratory relief. Now, absent a compelling governmental interest, parents have a constitutional right to reasonable and realistic advance notice and the ability to opt their elementary age children out of non-curricular instruction on transgender topics, end quote from Judge Conti. And she also declared, and to not have requirements for notice and opting out of those topics that are more stringent than those for other sensitive topics. Now, going forward, the district must provide such notice to parents ahead of any planned discussions of trans people or identities, but the full extent of Conti's ruling remains unclear. Everybody I talk to is upset and does not understand why this judge ruled this way, said Asta Keel, president of local, what kind of name? LGBTQ plus nonprofit Lebo Pride. Now, in comments to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette this week, and so I really don't know what the long-term impact is. I think a lot of it depends on the school district. Lebo Pride attempted to file an amicus brief in the case back in February, arguing that the district had a compelling interest of protecting transgender students and that an opt-out notice from trans topics validates the perspective that even trans students exist and is too controversial to acknowledge in the classroom. But Conti rejected, give it up for Judge Conti, Lebo Pride's motion to file the brief in March, opening that their legal arguments were, and I quote, misleading, and that the group is partial to a particular outcome in this case. So There is a lot of, but I'm with Linda. And I was about to say that, but I'm going to quote Linda Stewart on Facebook. I'm not sure why first graders need to hear/learn about transgender, right? That's my first issue. Second issue is, I think it was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that said only a fool allows his enemies to educate his children, right? So we need to be making sure we're creating our own school districts. Tammy, you're a great educator, sending our kids to private school. I just don't understand why a first grader needs to learn about. First of all, my argument too is, and I must preface with this: I had a transgender aunt, so it's not like it. My aunt was born a man. I only knew her as an aunt because she was born in the 40s. This is my mother's older brother. I never got to meet her in person. People always say, well, why do you say her? I only knew her as her. That was my auntie. She would call. I loved talking to her. She lived in San Francisco. I'll never forget watching, what was the show? Full House.
Yeah.
We kids were watching Full House, San Francisco, got the big hills. I never forget. I was on the phone with her one day and I said, when I grow up, I'm moving to San Francisco so I could ride my bike down the hills. And she said, you're not moving to Fairy Town. And as I grew up, I would recall that and say, well, how did she talk?
Sound like a nice name to live to me, right?
Well, why was she opposed to Fairy Town?
Yeah.
Gay people, and she was transgender. So it didn't make sense, but I digress now. So I had to say that to say I don't have an issue, but I think kids should not be allowed. If you can't drink till you're 21, you can't drive to a certain age. I don't think being transgender should be allowed at first grade, right? And so
306 people disagree with you who left comments on this book review. And one of them says that the title says it all, really. I'm an adult brother to some really sweet little siblings, and I have trouble explaining why I look different in old family photos to them, which is very confusing, right?
True.
So this book really helped. The kids loved helping me read the book and pointing out things that they see in Aiden's room or his drawings. The illustrations are phenomenal and the story is quite sweet. I cried a little at first, the first time that I did the test read at home, and the overall message is focused on love. And it reminded me of all the love and appreciation I have for my family. Great addition to the family collection. Now, they've got on the star rating for this book is 4.8. So there are two negative reviews, but not necessarily that negative. It just states that, like you say, that they want it to be a child's choice, not a child's force.
Yeah. So Valencia has been tired this week, right? So last night she asked, could we just, at the spur of the moment, shout out to our village, they got the kids and were, gone. Valencia relaxed. She wanted to just eat and lay down. But I say this to say that, Maddox's godmother texts and she said he was kind of fussy. She said, but as soon as I cut on gospel music, it just relaxed him. He started clapping and lifting his hands. And she said, your babies are just so saved. And Valencia and I were talking about it, and I said, you know what? It's not that they're born saved, right? But it's the environment that they're in, what they're picking up. This is what we do at home. Kids are very impressionable.
Yes.
So when you are letting drag queens come in schools to read books to kindergartners and first graders, little Billy may say, well, big Billy had on the dress, I want a dress. When you're reading these type of books and not giving them the opportunity to be taught these things at home. CPS a few years ago, and people call me a community activist. I say an advocate because I ain't out here shutting down schools. But when I see something, I say something. There was a sex education manual going around, and it was talking about safe sex. But in the school, the illustration was of a man. So it was really put, and I'm like, are y'all not looking at this illustration? So I was on a mission because it's like, what are they teaching our kids?
Clearly,
and you right. And if we don't pay attention, you will have your kids coming home saying, well, little Billy is wearing a dress. I want to wear a dress. And I think it's up to the parents to parent and govern their kids accordingly.
Well, it is up to the parents.
What about the kid, though? What about his thoughts?
What do you
His
mean?
or her, what about his or her thoughts, though? Like,
Well,
sure,
to
a
his
parent-
point, he's saying that his or her thoughts are going to be in alignment with the values that are being taught in the home. And if
on
the
paper,
values that are
yes.
being taught in the
Yep.
home are liberal like that, then
Okay, I got you.
there's going to be a pathway for your liberalness to
Yeah.
show through. And there's nothing wrong with that in certain homes.
And
But the ones that it do take offense to it should also be respected.
and to the point, because I know our Gen Z is pulling that mic over. He got it, because this is a topic, and I didn't grow up having to deal with this. I'm sure you didn't have to
Of
grow up.
course I did.
Oh well, I mean,
And I
where
have
was
an
so?
uncle that is gay.
Yeah.
And he used to dress up in drag. In fact, he used to actually perform in drag, and all of his friends went there. So
But I'm saying at school, where like my nephew
Yes,
who went
we
to
had
Oak
that
Park
too.
School, he had a transgender friend in 3rd grade.
Oh, not transgender.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Transgender, and it's a little bit more prevalent now. So, and I get it. You don't teach your kids hate, but if you're teaching them right from wrong, you love people regardless of their sins. You cover them with a multitude of love. If you instill the Bible in them, I don't have to read a book about loving transgender because I'm teaching them at home to just love anybody regardless. You
Which
know,
is a
and
good
so
message.
that should be the message. So
the question is though, do you love your brother as yourself, even if he becomes a sister?
if
I'm
my
kidding.
no,
That was a
let's,
joke.
all right, let's talk about it though. I pray, and I said this in the group. I'm a new parent, right? 2 years old and 1 year old. I ain't got much time in this, but I've seen parents parent. I've seen parents' kids go off and do things they never expected them to do. And it's like all I can do is raise my kids the way that I believe they should be raised when they become adults.
And pray
And
incessantly.
pray. And if little Pookie become Pookie the crackhead or Pookie the killer, Pookie the thief, I did what I'm supposed to do, but you ain't doing it until you out my house. Or Pinky. If Pookie want to be Pinky, you do that when you're of a right mind, sound age, and you're old enough to make decisions.
So let me ask you this, is playing devil's advocate. What about the child that was born in what they quote unquote call the wrong body, who's traumatized because their identity is just not clear? And so they're having so much trauma and depression to the point where they really just can't cope. And the parents are not recognizing because they're Christian parents and they don't believe that freedom of sex is a choice.
Yeah.
So what about that? It's a slippery slope.
A good therapist.
It's a slippery slope.
But I don't believe in the conversion camps, the Christians used to do. I don't believe in that. But I do believe a good therapist. See, we talk about faith without works is dead. But in the church, if you see little Billy got an issue, you just putting them on the altar. But you got to work your faith. The altar will work. We work the altar. But when that ain't working, send them to a professional that God has ordained and called to be a psychotherapist or to help you. We
help
can't
you with what? They don't think that they need help.
Yeah.
Well, that's
normal for them.
It's a normalized situation.
Not the kids don't think, or whoever has this thought. I'm saying the parents should say, "Hey, let me get you with somebody."
Sometimes the parents are not expressing that kind of behavior explicitly.
Well, they can't shut them off because of this.
Or what we were taught as to why my uncle became gay, because in that era it was like, how did you catch it?
Right.
not how did you become it? How did you?
So,
catch
but don't
it?
get close. You may catch it.
You might catch it. And it's because he had a very dominating mother, and was my grandmother. She was very dominating, and so my one uncle became gay, and my other uncle became an alcoholic. My aunt became an addict. So it was very dysfunctional. Trauma.
Therapy.
Yes.
But they didn't know. I know. So that wasn't. But now we're in an age where it's more accessible.
Yes.
Insurance companies, Medicaid is paying for you to be able to go.
They're also paying for They're also paying for sex trans.
Yeah, but this is when I said yesterday, I agree with some things the Democrats do, some things the Republicans do. That is what I ain't agreeing with. Because here's the deal: when I was 12, I made decisions that I look back on now and I'm like, bro, you were stupid. Why would you do that? If I could go back, I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't do that again. So at 12, you saying you want to be a woman and you're a man and you go get chopped up. It's like no turning back. I was trying to say it as nice as possible. I don't want no dump, but it's a very serious conversation. But I will say this,
and it's a very it's a very issue-laden conversation
Yeah.
because people really are searching for answers. And though we might not give you the answers today here on the show, we are opening up the pathway for conversation so that you can have those kinds of intentional conversations at your dinner tables.
Yeah.
And if you're not eating dinner collectively at the table and it is an issue, you might want to start, because a lot of things, when you talk it out loud, get resolved rather than keeping your
Yes.
thoughts in a silo to yourself.
And you don't ever want your kids to retreat away from you, right? Whatever they decide, whatever decision, you may not agree with it, but have the conversation. We're adults, we're taught to communicate. And of course, I would love little Susie to go marry Brandon, right? But if little Susie is saying she likes Cheryl, I'm going to keep praying hard, you know, because that's what I'm called to do. But I'm not going to hate Susie because of Cheryl, right?
But do you think that social media is putting an undue pressure on more leaning towards the acceptability of alternate lifestyles?
Yep. I think it's the red dye number 40 in the
Oh,
hot
that's
crunchy
bad.
curls.
It's not just in that.
And in the juice and in all
And
that.
then those maraschino cherries.
I learned something the other day here on the Brunch Bunch Tuesday. Our doctor who was with us after the show, we were talking, and I asked her what did she think about genetic testing. And when I learned about genetic testing a few years ago when I was advocating for it, you know, insurance would only pay for one genetic test because you only need one, right? But now, Valencia's doctor said, we're doing your genetic test every 6 months. And I said, well, how is that possible? The doctor said, because of the drugs are mutating genes. And so when you think about some of the things that we're eating and it's mutating our genes to then, you know, cause delusion, not saying you transgender, you delusional, you know, I want to make sure I put that out there. But
drugs are altering by nature.
Yeah, so you got to be,
but you just didn't know that they were they were altering your genetic makeup. That is something that we really need to be very diligent about. I think that opens up the conversation to a bigger story, not necessarily bigger, but certainly a story that we don't actually question the doctors. We don't question the prescriptions. We don't question the pharmacists. We question teachers all day long.
Yep.
We question pastors, but we don't question people who are putting in, allowing us
doctors
to
say take that drug. You're like, okay.
Hence, an opioid crisis.
Yeah. You are, hey man, listen, you got I about to shout up here. But you know what? We go lighten it up because it is it was a very lit topic. But kudos to Pennsylvania. And that should be a federal law nationwide, every state. Kids should not be forced to be in conversations in rooms that they're not old enough. You can't question a minor with the police. Don't read that book to my kids without me knowing.
Right. I agree.
So, you know what?
Parents should always be informed every step of the way. Yes, they should have a roadmap to whatever their children are being exposed to and an option. Parent choice is disappearing, but to all you parents, parent choice is a statutory protection. It's a right that you have. Exercise it at every turn of the hat because your children are dependent on you.
Yeah, and shame on you if you're not involved in what's going on with your kids, because you never know what people are putting in your kids' mind. That the story, the young lady convinced her boyfriend to commit suicide, and they were able to charge her because she actually pushed him to kill himself. And
she killed him.
She killed him. Yeah. She said, well, if you're going to do it, you know. But that's why you got to pay attention to who your kids are friends with, what they're reading, what they're looking at online. You know, it may seem like a mountain, but I'm going to say this prayer like Inez Andrews. Lord, don't move the mountain. Just give me the strength to climb. It's Throwback Thursday right here on the Brunch Bunch. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share on Inspiration 1390.
So was the teacher a trans?
No, the kid.
Was the teacher a tranny?
No.
I'm serious because
I don't know.
It's a day that's dedicated to that, but
I think they just read the book because it was she isn't Texas.
Like read books during Black History Month.
Okay, we kind of went over. Can we do the guess? Oh, that was a great topic.
It was.
I did that.
You did good.
I thought it was a behind the scenes Give them the. Make sure they ready.
What's up, Aziz?
Oh, and always put this in here because this don't work without it.
First of all, I know it's you, Asia.
Okay, fade this out, though.
There's a microphone for you. Whenever you should call.
TNT in the building.
Microphone for you.
You can secure
Then,
for tomorrow
you got the
today.
link that I sent.
If you or anyone you know is
Mobile boutique meaning
uninsured,
you'll bring the clothes to me.
or you
Yes,
need free
and then I have a store as well.
Oh
A
my
beautiful
God.
store, and it smells good when you walk up to that door. I was telling my wife about that last night. You said it's in your furnace, right? Did you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in our ductwork system.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna have to get that hooked up in the house.
Yearly buddy pass for as low as $17 a month for the entire year. No matter where you are, if
Yeah, I
it's
sent it to
15
him too.
locations, you can go anytime and get your car washed every day.
I didn't take a picture of it. I took a
She is
truck.
full of life.
Exclusive
Oh,
perks
for sure.
and
I
offers
mean,
throughout the membership.
lit
Go to
from the moment I met her.
BuddyBearCarWash.com.
That's
That's
her husband.
BuddyBearCarWash.com and
And
get
he's
your
just real
membership today.
mellow.
You can
And she
have
like
a
full
clean
of life.
ride tomorrow. That's BuddyBearCarWash.com.
Attention entrepreneurs,
Prop
it's
it
your
up.
girl.
I thought I had a
Tanya
picture of it.
Oh, what's that, the link?
It's the whole store.
Oh, just hit that link.
You gotta go to dress 1213, the whole video.
This one, right?
I will guide you
Go to
every
Instagram.
step of the trademark process. Secure your brand's future
I could
today.
go to the website.
Call
And it's on the website. or is it
It's on
on
the
the-
website. You'll see it when I
Okay.
drop it.
455-0711.
I just found out.
Resources are key. Daddy. Absolutely. They are.
455-0711. And for a limited time,
Oh,
$700
I'm sorry. I
off
didn't know
with
you
the
were
promo
still
code
talking.
Brunch.
My godson goes to your daycare.
Call attorney India
In
Rios
West
to
Austin.
secure the brand and the
His name is
bag.
Destin. He's one.
Hey, it's your name in Action
And it's
Jackson.
Tanya's favorite baby. She'll know who it is.
Tanya's on here.
Oh.
Tanya, look, you got a parent in here.
A bad credit score can stop you from buying that.
I'm
home.
Destin's
Starting
godmom.
business. Well, lucky for you,
Girl, I'm
professionals
telling you,
with wealthy intentions
2 degrees of
are great
separation.
credit
Yeah.
unions. They can help you address all those
And that
inaccurate,
restaurant.
It's so funny, man. I was just telling them,
negative
look,
items on
Yeah, I
your
guess
credit
5
report.
minutes later,
It just takes one phone call and you'll walk
We
away
were telling them,
with
they
a fresh
just,
credit
it's
union.
just 30
My
seconds
best
later,
friend,
after we
Destin's
was
mom.
It just, like at that time, I'm like, what?
Hey, we winning up in here. She said, hey, godmommy. I said, hey.
Hey, Uncle, she can see me. Hey. Thanks for taking care of my baby. Look.
That's so awesome.
So is all this on right?
on the
Did I do it right? I'm good.
I wanted to see the truck. See it. Oh, there it goes.
So we are super excited about our guest in the studio today. Would like for you to meet Tanika and Anthony Anderson, Chicago natives and a dynamic serial entrepreneur duo. Tanika is a benefit specialist, real estate agent, investor, and the owner of a mobile boutique, Dressed 1213. I never heard of a mobile boutique until she walked in this door, but I bet you I'm getting ready to get on that address list. Well, that's pun intended. Dress. I need one address, so I'm gonna get on the list. Well, Anthony is a general contractor, real estate developer, and owner of Export Transport LLC. Together, they run several successful ventures, including the TNT Rooftop, TNT Private Event Space, and more. All housed at their location in Chicago's Austin neighborhood. Their mission is to inspire Black excellence and empower their community by creating opportunities and uplifting local businesses. We're proud to have you right here in the studio with us.
Thank you for having
You
us.
have a rolling resume. Like literally, and you're so young, young, so beautiful, handsome, and
Thank you.
this is what we talk about when we poster child Black excellence as a
Yes.
couple. So I love the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing and doing it together. It makes it a little bit more palatable to be able to bounce something off of your partner. So tell us a little about your background and what inspired you both to become entrepreneurs, how you met, and what the future holds.
Well, as you mentioned, I am an insurance benefit specialist by trade. I've been in the insurance industry for over 18 years. I've always had a passion for fashion.
Apparently, because you fly.
Oh,
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you.
I've always had a passion for fashion, and so a few years ago, maybe about 9 years ago, I started an
I
online
started an
shoe
online
boutique,
shoe
just trying
boutique, just
something
trying
out.
something out.
My
My
grandmothers were big
grandmothers
on
were big on
fashion, so they
fashion, so they
inspired me.
inspired me.
And I
And I
stopped with the
stopped
shoe
with the shoe
boutique.
boutique.
And then I met my
And then I met
husband, and
my
he's like,
husband,
"Why
and
do you
he's
keep
like, "Why do you
talking
keep
about it?
talking
Stop
about it?
talking
Stop
about it.
talking
Just
about
do
it.
it."
Just do it."
And
That's
so
And
right.
one
so
day
one
I
day
woke
I
up, and he
woke
was
up, and
like,
he was
"Here's
like,
the
"Here's the
LLC
LLC
for
for
dress. What do
dress.
you
What
want
do
to
you want to
call it?"
call it?"
So my
My
grandmother,
grandma,
my
my
late
late
grandmothers,
grandmothers,
they
they
both
both
passed.
passed.
So
So
the
the
12/13
12/13
is
is
for
for
them.
them.
One of
One of
their
their
birthdays is
birthdays is
December
December
13th.
13th.
The
The
other
other
one is
one is
January
January
12th. So
12th.
I
So I
took the
took the
12
12
and
and
13.
13.
So
So
that
that
represents
represents
them.
them. Very meaningful.
Yes.
I love it. And
Awesome.
so you guys are a power couple doing amazing things. Anthony, Tanika, listen, you got multiple ventures. Now, my favorite, of course, is TNT Rooftop. But you got Dress 1213, Expert Transports, TNT Rooftop, the event. How do you manage them all?
I mean,
I mean,
I'm
I'm
42, so
42,
all
so
this was
all this was
over time. You
over
know what I
time. You
mean?
know what I mean?
Sometimes,
Sometimes,
I guess you could say we get bored
guess you
with
say we
things,
get
right?
bored
And
with
then
things,
we
right?
start doing other things a
Start
little bit.
another
So
thing.
I originally, because my background in schooling is in IT, so my
So,
BA is in web design. So I did that for a
so
little bit. Then I was actually a union carpenter for about 4 years. Done that for a while after being a union carpenter and determined that I need to start making the
I
money
need to
instead of
start
making the
making
money for them.
the
I said,
money for
okay, it's
them.
time to start like becoming your own boss. Did that also, went and got my CDLs. Once I went and got my, well, actually I was owning trucks before I had my CDL. So then with dealing with drivers in different situations, I felt that I didn't know enough. So I went and learned how to drive so I could know the ins and outs of driving besides the back office end. As far as the heavy real estate and development, I mean, that kind of came with my wife. Once I met her a little bit, she kind of helped me like straighten up a little bit, you know. So you know how you play.
What was crooked about you?
I mean, I wouldn't say crooked, but I mean, just in the sense she made me start taking things
Come
more
on,
serious,
J.
right?
Cole, you can
So,
tell us.
so she made me
Made
start
me
just,
start just
stop.
just stop.
I guess you could
I
say
guess you could
messing
say
over my
messing over my
blessings in a
blessings
sense.
in a
So
sense. So
I started
I started
taking
taking
things a
things a
little bit
little bit
more
more
real,
real,
and
and
she
she
was
was
my
my
light
light
and
and
sort
sort
of.
of.
However, good
You
for
know
her.
what I mean?
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
Behind every strong black man is a strong black woman.
That's true.
definitely.
Well, now this is the rooftop cafe that Marcel raves about. Come on, Tammy, let's go to the rooftop. I'm like, well, I'm going home. But everyone is talking about the rooftop. So, how important was it for you all to open up a business in Chicago, specifically in the Austin area?
So
So
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
turn it
turn
over to
it
my
over
husband
to my
because he
husband
is
because he is
actually an
actually an
Austin native.
Austin
So
native.
this was
So
his
this was his
whole, I need to
whole I
bring
need to
back to
bring back to
Austin, and we're
Austin and
looking
we're
to
looking
build
to
something.
build something. Oh, okay. So had you left Austin and decided to go back and open up a business in Austin, or you were living in Austin and decided to become a
Well, I
commerce?
mean, I
Well,
was
I mean, I
raised in
was
Austin
raised
my
in
whole
Austin my
life.
whole life.
Like I said, all of
Like I
my
said, all of my like
friends and
friends and
somewhat of my
somewhat of
family
my
are from
family are
over
from
there.
over
So
there.
yeah, I
So
did
yeah, I did
move away from
move away
Austin,
from
but it was
Austin, but it was
always an
always
intention
an
to go
intention to
back
go
and
back
give
and
back to
give
where I
back to
came
where I
from.
came from.
Um, and
And
we've
we've
also
also
something we just came up with the new name
the
for
new
our
name
location
for
is
our location
be
is
known as
be
Austin
known
Square.
as
So therefore, because we house so many
because we
businesses, we want
so
to
many
just be able to
businesses.
keep
We
it under
want to
one
just be
umbrella
able
so
to keep it
everybody can know,
under
okay,
everybody.
Austin Square versus having to
All
just
versus having to
identify
just identify individually
business.
each
So
business. So
I like
it
that.
was
it was
it
it
was
All
was
it
right,
was
all
it was
right,
it
all
was
right.
definitely
it was
important
definitely
for
important
to give
for
back.
to give back.
Like I said, I come from a community that's we lack of a lot of things. So and it's important
There's no
for.
lack of love in Austin.
Oh, definitely not,
We
definitely
got
not.
201 community parents. So you know what that means. That means we have 500
500,
community
yeah.
parents. And when I tell you that the love, the heartbeat of Austin is in its people.
Oh, definitely. We bringing it back. If You know what I mean? But like I said, I definitely wanted to give back to give some opportunities to some of the people that I grew up with or some of the people that I know throughout the years. Like I say, Austin is a great community. It could be even greater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all of us pulling together as a whole. So it was important. And then, like I said, it was about bringing it back over there, but at the same time, the clothing store was something my wife wanted, and so I had told her because she's from the south side of Chicago.
We won't hold it.
Right,
We
you
won't
know,
hold it
so,
against you.
you
We
know,
won't hold it
Look,
against
right.
93rd, stand up.
Right. Yeah, but I had, it took a little second convincing, like, hey, baby, it's gonna be better
That
for
was
us.
my next question. Did
Yeah.
you go kicking and screaming or willingly? So you
No,
already did it.
so the
A
thing
little
was
both.
that she was keen on like trying to do it south, and I'm like, nah, we ain't gonna lease a spot. Like, let me buy you a spot. Like, just give me a second. Like, I got you. So
That would have made me move.
so then she and that's where the mobile boutique come in at too, right? So like it was like from one thing to the next. It's like, okay, well, while we're waiting on the building and whatnot, I got this other idea. So it's like, okay, well, let's get the mobile boutique now. So we did the mobile boutique in essence of trying to give her some patience until we was through with the build out of the building and whatnot. So
So the building, let's talk about that, and let's talk about Austin Square, right?
okay.
I love it. This place is what I call black excellence, right? And I do a lot of work with entrepreneurs, and one of the biggest issues I see is we open these businesses, but we don't really invest in the businesses in our community like if it was downtown. But you guys did that. Can you tell us about TNT Rooftop and what makes it so unique?
Well, what makes it unique is that my husband and I put everything together. I'm going to say he was the brain behind it because he is the general contract. This was his idea. We are pescatarian, so we don't have many food options. So he like, let's build a restaurant. And me, I'm like, a restaurant? He said, no, a rooftop restaurant. And then I said, on Madison? He said, on Madison. So I know anything he puts his hands on, it turns to gold. So I'm just rolling with it, and now we have the restaurant on the rooftop.
So, Anthony, talk about the rooftop and why. Well, why Madison? I know why Madison. Tell the believers why Madison, and explain what's the ambiance when they walk into it.
I mean, like I said, I felt like honestly, I've been a resident of the city for forever, and I've been, on all sides. But I really felt like being a resident of the West Side and from the West Side that like we lacked this kind of experience that we're now bringing to the West Side. The luxury where the luxury meets urban over here in a sense. So it was important for me to give us something that we definitely didn't have anywhere, and definitely that was different from anything else. So I wanted to kind of like, put us at the top of the mountain for a change, because like I said, we lacked it so much. So with that came the thought of what would we put there that wasn't anywhere else, right? So then, we had a few, we were brainstorming a little bit, and then we were living down in Miami. So living down in Miami and just seeing those different things, I'm like, okay, let me bring this Miami vibe back, which is what we came to. The rooftop is known as Cheyenne. So,
Oh my God, I love that.
we brought that
Y'all
back.
get so. Oh my
So we
God.
just, we just took some of the things that we actually have had experiences with as far as traveling different places, seeing different things, and then we put them together and brought them back home. And just now you got TNT Rooftop, which is, from my words, I would say is a luxury experience that's like no other within the city that is totally black owned.
Well, before
1,000%.
Tammy Joe, I just want to.
No, I just wanted to give the address because people are going crazy.
The address is 5405 West Madison. The boutique is 5411 West Madison, dress 1213, and also the event space is 5411 West. I mean 5409 West Madison. I'm sorry.
Yeah. 5409, 5405,
50,
5411.
5405 through 11.
54 after the show. I'm gonna tell you that, but I can't feel a winter coming. But listen, before we move on, I just want to touch on because usually when the black restaurant comes to the black neighborhood, it's soul food. Is this another soul food restaurant? What's the cuisine? Talk about what they eat.
Oh no, it's not another soul food restaurant. We do have American cuisine. We offer upscale dining, so we do steaks, lobsters. We have something called the Great White, which is our jumbo lump crab meat stuffed in our lobster tail. We have bone-in ribeyes, and this weekend for Sweetest Day, we're offering our tomahawk dinner for two. It's a surf and turf.
Well,
I wish
see.
I would have brought the surf and the turtle.
But we're inviting you guys down to enjoy it.
I love it.
I see salmon, catfish,
And
We,
muffins, baked chicken, French toast. Oh, you open for breakfast too?
we're,
we're open for brunch on Sundays, and now we're actually open for lunch Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. And so we have our special brunch menu.
This is amazing,
We-
amazing, amazing.
we also have a chauffeur service as far as that where we pick you up and we'll pick you up from your residence, bring you down to the restaurant. You can have dinner. We have a line of vehicles from Rolls Royce to Bentleys to Range Rovers, and your vehicle of choice. We'll pick you up. You can leave it thinking to us. We'll set the date for you and get you where you need to be.
That's a great first date. That's a great 25th date.
Anniversaries,
Like,
date night, any of
Birthdays.
that, birthdays.
That's so Miami and on Madison.
We're gonna pick you up, Tam. We're gonna pick you up.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to
okay.
go out so y'all can pick me up, because I live around the corner. I'll pick you up for the ride.
You guys, you
We gonna
definitely
pick you
want to
up.
get down to 5405 West Madison. And if you can't get down, they'll pick you up and bring you down. But you know what? I know you guys are foodies, and I too, I like food. But I am so impressed with this pink van, baby, with these
Oh,
flowers in
thank
it.
you. That's my first baby.
Oh my God, yes. So let's talk about this mobile not cafe, this mobile clothing store, because literally it looks like Barbie, but it feels like Vogue.
Okay, it's definitely Vogue. With the mobile boutique, I drive around. We go to different beauty shops, nail shops. We do a bunch of different events. We were a vendor at Theater 47, and we used to go for their plays and set up in the vending room, and I would pull the truck outside. So the truck is set up just like a clothing store. You get inside the truck, the shelves are there, you can shop. It's a fitting room, it's a mirror in there. We have a comfy couch. It's everything a woman would desire.
So you do events too.
Yes, I
So
do.
you show up at events where
Yes.
people can have whatever the event theme is and
Mhm.
also shop.
Yes, you can also book a party. So if you have ladies' night, we'll pull up to your residence, and then you and your girls can get on, and we do an actual shopping experience.
Well, give the information how people can contact you, because they really want to contact you.
You can reach me on Instagram at dressed with the ed 1213. The website is dress1213.com. And I'm located 5411 West Madison. And you can also contact me at 312-899-6527. And that's for any of the Austin Square businesses.
Give her that number again.
312-899-6527.
Now, this mobile boutique, I've never heard of it.
I'll
But
let you talk about the rooftop.
wait. I want to pay. The only person I saw with a mobile boutique was Jody on Baby Boy.
Oh, no. It's nothing like
No,
Jody.
It's definitely
we got a little luxury on the dress 1213
This
too
is the
side.
Rolls Royce of mobile boutiques.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful. It's very classy. It's designed very well.
How did
And
you
I
see it?
saw-
Because I ain't seen it.
Because you don't go on social media. And if you do, you're going to look for rooftop food.
Can I-
You actually saw it in the back of the restaurant. You just
I
didn't
didn't
really
I
pay
didn't know
attention
what
to
it
it.
was. Wow.
I wanted to add something about the rooftop. I forgot.
I'm
So,
sorry I put your...
No, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We actually, our architect on the project was Dion Lucas. He's also black. He's from the Lawndale community. So I wanted to give him a shout out because I kind of left that out when you was asking me about where they come from. So, but he was the one that helped bring
That's your
all of the
architect?
vision. That was the architect on the job.
Well, this is amazing. So
But
you
yes.
got something special coming up pretty soon. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Well, actually, this month we got the Oktoberfest, where we partner with actually some of our other black-owned businesses, family members, Sunrise Cafe, Mingles Bar and Grill, and
Bronzeville
Soul. So you guys check that out. We got that going. It's all black-owned. Everybody's a black-owned business. All of the businesses are wonderful.
And so you keep saying black owned. Why is that so important?
I mean, it's important because I think it's time we just get back to our community where we start focusing on our upbringing and just improving everything that we know as living in life as a whole.
And do you see that if you go to Greektown or Chinatown, you see Greek and Chinese owners, right?
Definitely.
You go to black communities and 67% of the business owners are other than black. And
except
so
in Soul City and Austin
Austin
Square.
Square.
that's true. That's true. And a lot of people do not understand the gravity of where we are and forecasting of where we will be if we do not continue to talk about ownership in black communities. They would be sold right from under us.
I just want to touch on one more thing about Oktoberfest. The link for Oktoberfest is in our bio at TNT Rooftop Chicago. And he touched on Oktoberfest, but it's a really awesome deal. You purchase one ticket and you get to dine at all four restaurants. So it's great for date night. Sweetest Day is this weekend, birthdays, etc. You have the entire month of October to use it. And cocktails come with the ticket as well.
So when you say a ticket and you can dine, how does that work? Do I buy the ticket and I gotta eat all four the same day?
No. So on this flyer you have, so TNT is on Monday. So on Mondays you can dine in at TNT, and then you can choose from our menu items. We have our grilled chicken breast with fried rice, our salmon. You can choose our pasta. We have different menu items at each restaurant. Bronzeville Soul is on Tuesdays. Sunrise Sunset Cafe is on Wednesdays, and Mingles Bar and Grill is on Thursday. So you have 4 days you can dine in at these different restaurants throughout the week. It does not have to be consecutive. You can go week to week and do a different
So
one.
you can get that one lump price and go to all four of your locations. And so let's talk about those four locations. So Bronzeville Soul is at 4655 South Martin Luther King Drive. Sunrise for breakfast and brunch is at 1455 Ring Road in Calumet City. And of course, TNT is 5405 West Madison. Mingles Bar and Grill is at 17030 South Torrance. What's that area?
That's
Lansing.
Lansing.
Lansing, yeah.
And what makes Oktoberfest unique, all of these restaurants, they are family-owned business. Mingles Bar and Grill is my brother. Sunrise Cafe is our cousins. And Bronzeville Soul is one of my good friends.
That's dope.
Collaboration.
Yes.
That is dope. Now, back to this ticket and these meals. Because I'm up for a challenge. If it was one day, I was going to make it work. But I'm glad. Now, let me ask this. Do I have to do all four? Let's say I want to do TNT twice and Bronzeville Soul twice.
No, it's one at each restaurant.
Okay,
but you can always come back for a second round if you like.
I'm so glad you stood your ground, because everybody want to change your plan, right? Open you up a restaurant and you plan it like you want.
Would you be quiet? Listen, I'm trying not to go to Lansing, but I'll make that road. Listen, y'all are doing some amazing things, and your story of how you connected. They met each other. They ran into each other in Chicago, I believe, and then they bumped into each other in Miami.
No,
it's a little different.
I'll let him tell the story.
I'm gonna sum it up real quick. I met her in Puerto Rico originally. Originally I met her in Puerto Rico, and then I saw her a year later in Chicago. Didn't know she was actually from Chicago. Saw her at the club, and from that, I was steady trying to get in tune with her, and she was steady shutting me down. It wasn't an easy task,
Oh, wow.
This was not easy at all.
So,
So
when you were in Puerto Rico, I really want to get into the story.
We ain't got that much time.
Did you say, I really want to get with you, or you was like, what up? And
So
you kept it moving?
So, crazy thing, right? She was at the bar with some of her friends, and I came up, and she had they was eating chips and chicken or something. And so I went to ask her for some of her chips. And so she gave them to me. They weren't even open. I thought she was flirting with me, you know what I mean? But whole time she was just being nice. And then the next day I saw her and tried to grab her hand or something, and she kind of jerked away and shut me down. That was still in Puerto Rico. So I just kind of left it alone. Then I saw her in Chicago. One night I tried to buy her something to eat. She wouldn't let me buy the food. I'm like, you going back to Puerto Rico? She's like, I wasn't in Puerto Rico. I'm like, you was. So she was just being feisty. And I'm like, you know what? You want to fight, but I ain't finna do that with you. But have a good day. That's why your lipstick smudged. She was like, that's why you ain't the one that smudged it. and then in my wedding, she said, it's funny, you'll be smudging for the rest of my life.
And so we're celebrating the rest of y'all life.
And our anniversary was actually yesterday. For 8 years.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, 8 years here. Yeah.
So you celebrating real quick October the 20th this Sunday at the restaurant, and all are welcome?
All are welcome on the rooftop. The entire city, come out, meet us, come out, have a good time. We're going to be there from 5 to 10, but we are open for brunch, so you can come for brunch, but we'll be there all day, and we would love to see you.
And didn't you having a little Dirk after party?
At the party, we at the rooftop. rooftop from the United Center. Pull up. We 10 minutes.
So this is a great opportunity for Sweetest Day, which is also coming up in October. For those of you, thank you, Daddy's Promise, for that. But for those of you who have not gotten a Sweetest Day plan yet, this can be your plan.
Well,
Not having a plan ain't a plan, though. I'm telling you now.
That's
Failure
the
to
only
plan is a plan destined to fail.
That's
That's
right.
And
it,
proper
that's
preparation
it.
gonna always prevent poor performance.
There you go.
All right, he preaching up in here too. All right, Deacon over there. Listen, we're so happy for both of you. We pray nothing but blessings. I
Thank
pray
you.
that God continues to open doors that no man can shut. But in your case, I pray that God gives you the vision to keep creating new doors because y'all are changing the game. Let's give it up for Anthony and Tanisha. Thank you for joining us on the
Thank
Brunch
you for
Bunch.
having us.
Thank
May
you for
you all
having
have
us. We appreciate it so
20,
much.
30, 40, infinity more years of smudging lipstick.
Thank
You
you
know what,
so
believers?
much.
If you shout out other people, God will do it for you. So for those of you looking to get your lipstick smudged, just pray, and
Hey,
God can make it happen.
At TNT, we have a date night too. I mean, what'd you say? A speed date.
Speed date.
A speed
Listen,
date. So
get over to TNT. Let them know you heard about them on the Brunch Bunch. They do hibachi night on Wednesdays.
Game night on Monday.
Game night on Monday. It's going down on Madison. And if you don't know, it's right across the street from MacArthur. So just pull on up. Listen.
we got them signs out now. The new
As,
billboards.
as the late great Reverend Clay Evans. I'm gonna switch it up today. I'm gonna go to the psalmist Glorilla. You know what? At the end of the day, they got to end. We out of time. We got to get out. But we encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Tamara fell on the air. I love you.
I love you, Action Jackson.
Believers, we love you. Baby Eminem, we love you. Up next, AC Green. After that, Pastor DeAndre Patterson with the afternoon drive. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Thank you. We forgot about the digital billboards. I don't know. That's something new. So people can. Okay. So we do have digital billboards. So for any entrepreneur that wants to invest in a billboard, we do a weekly ad starting at $300. You can have it posted. It flashes every 10 seconds.
Where is it at?
It's right above the restaurant. We have 3 different screens. You can put the ad on all 3 screens or choose a screen. So if you're a nail tech, a daycares, a lawyer, attorney, whatever you have, we can advertise it for you. And couples.
They put your picture on there for the whole.
Oh, so when you're doing an event,
when you
like
do
a
event,
celebration at your restaurant, then you'll celebrate
a
them
photo,
with a picture
photo
on the
slides, and
billboard.
Yeah. And then the event space too. You can book parties at the event space. I forgot about it.
We got a book, different interviews for each business. This was great. Listen, Facebook, make sure you go and check out TNT. The food is amazing. And listen, I wasn't a big hibachi fan. But I found New Star on North Avenue, and I thought they were dope. But man, I went over to TNT, and ain't nothing better than black hibachi.
I might have left off. We actually had the biggest rooftop in Illinois, minus offshore.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Wow.
actually the first black-owned first rooftop on the west side.
Oh yeah.
The very first one.
I found my anniversary plans.
Well,